but you don't need it straight away. That's for the next set. Right, so start on your back, arms out stretched, rolling your knees from side to side. We'll start with that. Let's get onto my back. In fact, I'm going to get you on mute as well. I forgot to do that. Let's mute you all. There we go. Hi, Sophie. You weren't waiting long to get in, were you? I didn't, although you just spotted. Right, so on your back. Oh. Take your time with this, really try and get your knees all the way over to the ground. Well done. And then I want you to take your hands and put them behind your head, push your elbows down to the ground, and then roll from side to side again. So it should feel a little bit more challenging through your sides, maybe upper back as well, as we're trying to keep your elbows on the floor. And then keeping your hands behind your head, lift your head up slightly and then do straight leg kicks. And we'll go for 30 seconds on each side. Take your time with these kicks as well, keep your leg as straight as you can. Well done. And then change sides. Good, well done. Good, keep going. And one more. And then grab your towel or your cushion, or whatever it is that you can use to go underneath your head. And then place that underneath your head. Both arms stretched out in front of you, legs curled up, and open up your top arm. If you can feel your top hip rocking back as you open up your top arm, just drop your top leg over the lower one, and that will help to anchor your hips in place. If you don't feel you need to do it, you can keep your legs drawn up like that. It's a lot more comfortable to have something underneath your head. Do one more. And then roll over other side. And again, if you need to, drop that top leg over your lower leg. Well done. Keep going. Okay. One more. And then remove that from underneath your head and roll onto your back. Arms down by your side. Bridge. 30 seconds, pushing your hips up nice and high and then rolling your back down to the floor. Taking your time to roll your back down. So you can push up quite quickly, but roll down nice and slowly. Ten more seconds. And then over onto your front. Cat to cow next, so the arching up and dipping. Again, we'll go for about 30 seconds on this. Think about your core as well. So as you tuck under, when you're arching your back, try and pull your tummy up towards your spine. Five more seconds. And then stay on all fours. Alternate arm and leg extensions. So we'll go straight into this, but if you're really wobbly, if you're struggling to keep your hips level, then break it down. Go for arms only for a couple of reps, then do a few legs only, and then go into the full movement. If you feel happy with it, then just do it straight away. So it's thumb pointing up to the ceiling, leg really extended out behind you. Ten more seconds. Good, and then slowly stand up. Nice and slowly, head down for a while so don't feel dizzy. Standing hip rotation, so you can do this with your hands on your waist or free, depending on what you want to do. I'm taking layers off as well. It's really muggy today, isn't it? Didn't need a t-shirt. Well done. So if you're wobbling around a little bit while you're doing this, like I am, keep your core braced. So that slight tension through your abdominal muscles, that will help. Also, if you look at the floor, you can kind of spot a little bit more easily that way. One more on each leg, and then go the other way. Well done. Keep going. One more on each leg. For some reason that way's easier this morning. And then hip hikes. So we'll just finish off this warm-up activation set with some hip hikes. Hands on your hips if you need to, but you're just pulling up nice and high. That's it. So it's one leg at a time. Keep both legs completely straight. And it's a quicker pull up and a slower return back to the floor for this one as well. Do one more, and then change legs. I think that's really good. Nice and stable, well done. My train is, I don't know if you can hear it, I'm putting my foot to the floor. My train is squeaking. That's really annoying. Do one more. Good, and done. Oh, hello. Right, so we're doing 3 sets today. First set is a focus on glutes, so kind of pelvic girdle. Second set is focusing on the muscles at the front of our tummy. And the third set are rotational movements. So they should also get slightly harder throughout as we go. First exercise then is going to be bridge with your arms raised. So on your back, I'd like you, if you have got a weight that you can hold comfortably above your shoulders, so nothing too heavy, I'd like you to use a weight for this as well. So it's on your back, holding the weight directly above your shoulders, heels quite close towards your bum, pushing your hips up and lowering down, but you're only letting your bum touch the floor just for an absolute second and then up again. 45 seconds for this. Perfect, well done. If you don't have a light weight, then you can use a water bottle or you can use your towel or cushion. Keep going. So think about what your core is doing and your glutes. Squeeze your bum as you push up, and when you get to the top of the movement, think about bracing your core, so drawing your tummy button down towards your spine a little bit. Ten more seconds. 2, 1, done. Pop the weight down. So next one, it's a bridge again, this time hands on the floor, push your hips up, get your core engaged, and you're going to lift one leg up slightly, and you're going to do a single leg bridge. Now the thing to watch out for in this is that when you're doing it, if you're collapsing a lot, so you can't keep your hips level, then the alternative exercise is a marching bridge. So only do the single leg bridge if you can keep your hips level. Right, off we go, 30 seconds on each side. So you'll probably find that with one leg raised, your range of movement is a little bit limited, so you can't push up and down as high as you can when you're lifting both legs. And this should feel significantly harder. Keeping your core braced all the time doing this will help to keep your hips level. Good, change sides. Off you go. Well done. So if you're finding this hard, this is a challenging exercise, so it's okay to find it hard. Last few seconds. Good, and then foot down, roll onto your side. So all the way over, hand on the floor in front of you. You can leave the bottom leg bent, or you can have it completely straight. You're going to do a side leg raise. So I've got my leg pushed back ever so slightly and lifting and lowering from that position. Well done. Keeping your foot slightly flexed. Keep going. 5 seconds. Good, and then roll over other side. So lower leg bent, top leg up, push back and raise and lower. Well done. Good. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. And then roll over again onto your side. Clamshell this time. So both legs drawn up. And then you're going to bring your feet off the ground. So you've got both feet together and raised off the ground. And then you're doing the clamshell from that position. So your feet stay up and they stay together. So heels and toes together. And raise and lower that top leg. Be aware of what your top hip is doing. So you want to keep your top hip directly above your lower hip all the time. Don't rock forward and back. Well done. Do one more. And then change sides. So all the way down, curl up, feet together, lift those feet up, off you go. So we're doing this set twice through. When we repeat these clamshell movements, you can add a band if you want to make it even harder, but having your feet up kind of, that's the progression done already basically. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, good. And then up you get. So we're going to do a little walking lunge with a sweep. So hopefully you should feel this working in the backs of your legs, hamstrings and glutes. So you take a small stride, probably only, it's less than a foot between heel and toe, and then sweep your arm across your shin. So the idea of that is it's throwing you off balance a little bit and making your glutes have to work a little bit harder. But it's a small crouching movement, and as you stand up, try and push off through your heel. Get the back of your leg working as much as you can. The beauty of this sort of lunge is that it's completely safe for your knees as well, so if your knees are a bit dodgy, this won't aggravate any knee pain. Brilliant, keep going. Ten more seconds. Fab, and then back onto the floor. So bridge again, arms raised. Slight progression for this set. So for the first set, I said just to let your bum touch the floor very lightly. For this set, don't touch the floor at all. So you're raising and lowering, but your bum is staying off the floor completely all the time. And again, go for that slower, lower down to the floor, and quick push up. Well done. Looking good. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, done. And then arms onto the floor, and you're going to do the single leg bridge again. So hopefully, if you found this really challenging the first time, you might find it a little bit easier because your glutes will have activated a little bit. Right, off you go. Single leg bridge. Well done. Keep going, 5 seconds. And then change sides. Well done. Okay, keep going. 5 seconds. 2, 1, done. Brilliant. Side leg raises. So the first set we did them with a lower leg bent. That will give you quite a lot of stability. If you want to make it more challenging, do this next one with both legs straight. So you'll find it a lot harder to stabilise your top hip. So it's leg back, keeping your foot quite flexed, and raise and lower. Well done. Good. Core engaged as well, obviously. Goes without saying. Lovely, well done. Three, 2, 1. Brilliant. Roll over. And off you go. It's amazing how different this feels for me on one side than the other. When I raise and lower my right leg, my glute just goes, oh, hello, I'm awake. Left leg, hours later. 5 seconds. 2, 1, done. Good. Roll over again. So we're going to repeat clamshell. So if you want to use a band, put it above your knees. But having your feet raised up is already a progression, so you don't need to do this with a band if you don't want to, but it will make it hard if you want to make it even more challenging. So again, draw your legs up, bring your feet up off the ground, off you go. Well done. So the most discomfort I'm feeling at the moment is the pressure on the bruises that I've got from my sports massage on Friday. I can't believe I pay money for that. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Roll over, other side. Good. And off you go. As you fatigue, you might find that your feet start to drop towards the ground, but just fight to keep them nice and high. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Up you get. Walking lunge with that sweeping movement again. 45 seconds. Off you go. So if you want to make this more challenging, make that sweep across your shin a bit more exaggerated. That big movement forces your body to have to work to stabilise you. That's good, well done. And if you're working in bare feet or socks as well, this is going to be even more challenging. Ten seconds, well done. Three, 2, 1. Brilliant, well done. Next set, TVA exercises. So your transverse abdominis, this big muscle that you've got at the front of your core. So we're going to start off with an arms only dead bug as a bit of an activation exercise. And then the second set that we do, I'll make that more challenging. So I want you to lie on your back. So the first phase of this, lie with your arms and legs completely still and your knees drawn in ever so slightly. So you shouldn't feel much difficulty with this at all. And I want you to do some conscious breaths. So deep breath in and your back will come up off the floor. And then as you exhale, push your whole core down. So push your tummy down, push your back down. Breathe in. Exhale hard, pushing everything down. Okay, let's do 10 of those breaths. Over the course of these 10 breaths, you should start to find that your stomach muscles are waking up a little bit. It should get more challenging as you do this. So just do one more breath and then keep your arms and legs up and move into arms only dead bugs. So you can start this with your knees directly above your hips. But over the course of the 45 seconds, if you want to challenge your stomach muscles a little bit more, let your feet drop away from your body a little bit. And just until you get to the point where you are having to work quite hard to keep your back flat to the ground. Well done. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. You need your cushion or your towel again now. So you're going to do single-sided dead bugs. I want you to hold the cushion or the towel, whatever it is you're using, hold it between your hand and your knee. When you're doing a single-sided dead bug, it's quite easy to kind of forget what you're doing and let your arm move, but if you're holding something in place, you can't. So I've got my left hand holding the my yoga block to my left knee, and then I'm extending right arm and right leg. So rather than doing an alternate side dead bug, it's a single side dead bug. Off you go. So this should feel more challenging than a normal dead bug. Okay, so do 30 seconds on each side. Well done. Good, and then change sides. Off you go. Fab, well done. 2, 1, done. Put down your cushion, hug your knees into your chest for a second, and then you're going to roll over into plank. So you've got options for this. You can either do a full plank on your elbows, or you can do a full plank in straight arm position. It's entirely up to you which one you do, but choose the one that you're going to be able to manage really well for 30 seconds. So good form. 30 seconds of plank. 3, 2, 1, off you go. I'm doing it on my elbows, so I've got my shoulders directly over my elbows, hands apart, bum tucked under. Try not to hunch your shoulders as well. After those dead bugs, 30 seconds of plank will feel very challenging. So if you can't sustain 30 seconds with good form, then just drop to your knees and do it as a half plank. So by that I mean, if you start to feel your back is doing more work than your tummy, drop to your knees. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Good. And then rest. And then move over and sit on your bum. You're going to need your cushion or towel again for this next one. So there's 2 options. And I will do the easier option for the first set, and then we can make it harder for the next one. So heels down, toes drawn up, and you're going to do a teaser, but raising and lowering your arms. So I'm using a yoga block, and I've programmed you to use a cushion or a towel, but if you want to make it more challenging, you can hold a light weight. Right, off we go. So raising and lowering. As you lift your arms up, really stretch up. And if you've got your heels down and you want to make it a little bit harder, you can just lean back. Five seconds. Good. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And then onto your back. Head up into your hands. Toes flexed, and you're going to do a single leg to double leg drop. If the double leg part of this, if it's impossible to keep your back really hard down to the ground, then just stick with the single leg. The double leg phase of this is a lot harder. Well done. Five seconds. Good. And then rest. Hug your knees into your chest. And we're going to repeat those exercises again. So you need to grab your towel or your cushion. And we'll go for, in fact, no, that's a complete lie. Arms only dead bugs first of all. So you don't need a towel or cushion, I lied. 45 seconds, Nice and easy. Arms only dead bugs. Really spending the time to keep your back pushed down. Make sure you've got your thumbs going down to the ground as well. That'll help to protect your shoulders. Five seconds. 2, 1, done. And then now you towel the cushion. Okay, so same as last time. Hold your towel or cushion and then single side. Off we go. Fab, well done. And then change sides. Well done. Good. And done. Brilliant. Plank. Over you go. 30 seconds again. So either straight on plank or on your elbows. 3, 2, 1, off you go. Well done. So bum tucked under, good. Pulling your tummy up towards your spine slightly. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, perfect. And then teaser. So for this second set, if you want to make it more challenging, rather than doing it with your heels down, you can have your legs up off the ground. So what you might want to do is to start with your feet raised, and if you can't sustain that for the full 30 seconds, just drop your heels down. Okay, off you go. But doing it with legs up is a lot harder. Try to keep your chest nice and high, try not to round your shoulders. Well done. It's amazing how heavy a yoga block can suddenly start to feel. Lovely, well done, doing really well. 5 seconds. 2, 1, done. Excellent. And then onto your back. Single to double leg drop, although you can progress this even more if you want to. If you find that single leg drop to the floor very easy, you can go for double for the whole thing. Off you go. If you start to feel it working in your back at all though, make it easier. Your stomach muscles should be burning a lot more than your back should be. You might also feel it in your hip flexors and in your quads as well, and that's okay, that's quite normal. If your tummy muscles are giving up a little bit, then your quads will take over. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then just stay on your back, hug your knees into your chest for a few seconds. And then we're going to finish off with some rotational exercises. Another few seconds on your back, and then up you get nice and slowly. Okay. So the first exercise we're going to do is called a windmill. So I will struggle a little bit because of the ceiling height in here, so I might have to keep my arms slightly bent, but just imagine that I've got my arm completely straight. So you stand with your feet wide apart, weight up above your head. Bend my knees a little bit actually. I haven't got my knees bent, just pretend I haven't. So you start with your weight, your arm up like that, and then you're going to rotate. Hang on, that's not right. There you go, I've not done this for ages, can you tell? There we go. That hand goes to the floor and then up again. So pretend my arm is straight. And the idea of this exercise is that you're keeping your weight, the weight in your hands directly above your shoulder. That's it. You can look up at the weight if you want to. It will help to keep it above your shoulder. And you're rotating. So you should feel it kind of stretching back through your hamstrings, inner thighs, and also through your waist. And then when you're in the lower position, you should really feel it kind of going down through your side. So upper back all the way down there. Good, change sides. This is easier for me to do outside. So if you have shoulder issues, this is actually a really good shoulder rehab exercise. Yeah, is it comfortable? So if your shoulder, yeah. It's hard work. You don't need a very heavy weight for this. It's quite a nice one to do with the kettlebell as well because the kettlebell's a bit more unstable. Do one more. Good. And then down. Perfect. Sorry I can't demonstrate it very accurately with my little low ceiling. Right, next one. Again with a weight. And you're going to do a reverse lunge, but you're not getting your knee all the way to the floor. So holding the weight like that, you're going to step back and rotate like that. That's it. Ideally, looking at the weight, but if it makes you wobble too much, then don't. So it's kind of almost like a curtsy lunge. That's it. Perfect, well done. Do one more on each side. Good. And then the next one is a seated torso rotation. So onto your bum with a weight. Heels down or heels up. You've got two options and you're going to rotate from side to side. Now if your weight's not particularly heavy, you can do this with straight arms. If your weight's a bit heavier, bend your arms and keep the weight closer to your body. But whatever you do, look at the weight as you rotate from side to side. If you haven't started, off you go. Well done. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Fab. One more set of each of those and then we're done. So up you get. Windmill again. I'm going to show you with the kettlebell. Okay, so legs nice and wide apart. Arms up. I can actually get my arms straight with the kettlebell, that's better. Right, off you go. So there's an exercise called a Turkish get-up, which is where you do this exercise, but you start lying flat on the floor with the weight above your shoulder. And you have to get all the way up from the floor to standing up without the weight coming down. One day we'll spend an entire class on doing it. Okay, do one more. And then change sides. Well done. It's one of those exercises that, if you can master it, is just amazing for every part of your body. But the process of mastering it is quite hard. Well done, looking good. Two more. Fab. Reverse lunge. The same as last time. If you want to make it harder, try and lunge back a bit further, you'll wobble more. Right, off you go. Good, well done. Five seconds. Oops. I can't watch myself and you on camera move. It's impossible. 2, 1, done. Fab. And then the last one, torso rotations. So if you had your feet down for the first set, just try and do this last one with your feet up. It's the last exercise of the day. 2, 1, go. Ten more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Done. Well done. That was a bit harder this morning, so if you found it challenging, it was harder than last week. Yeah. Right, roll over onto your front, get straight into child pose. Feet together, knees apart. Arms stretched out in front to begin with. Nice deep breaths. And then take your arms over to one side. And then over to the other side. And the next one, bring your knees in together a little bit. Feed one arm underneath. Lynn, this might be uncomfortable for you. You might need to do a normal child pose again, but see how it goes. Feed that arm underneath like that. And then forward. And then other side. And then into cat stretch, arms up. And then tuck your toes under, push up, downward dog, getting your legs as straight as possible. And then go from there straight into a glute stretch. So leg underneath you, lower down. And then change sides. Well done, keep going. And then slowly come up, stand up slowly. Standing quad stretch. So really work on getting your hip flexors involved in this exercise as well. So pulling your leg back behind you, but without arching your back. And you should feel a stretch all the way down the front of your hip into your quad. Definitely hold on to something for this. Yeah, well done. You can't get it as much into your hip flexor if you're doing it freestanding. Perfect. Change legs. Liv, I can just see a wagging tail. I love it. Okay, and then release. And then just finish off, slowly rolling down, dropping down. Bend your knees ever so slightly and then roll up, stretching your arms up nice and high above you. Fab. Well done this morning. Good work. You might have some slight achy tummies tomorrow.